Hi, I'm Brian McGuire, President and CEO of AED, and I'm here with Zack Manz from Contractor Sales out of this great state of New York. Zack, thanks for joining us. How are you today?
Doing well, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Great. Tell us a little bit about your dealership.
Sure. So the name of our dealership's Contractor Sales Company. We were founded just about 100 years ago in 1923. And throughout our storied history, we've helped to build a lot of the interstates throughout the state of New York, ranging from the Twin Bridges here in the capital of Albany out towards to the Buffalo area. It's been a storied history with a lot of growth throughout the way and the process of getting to where we are today.
That's great, Zack. Now tell us your position with the dealership.
Sure. So I am President and CEO here at Contractor Sales. Prior to my role, I was actually on the customer side. So I grew up in the construction and aggregate world. My father was part of a large regional heavy construction company. I worked various jobs ranging from quarry technician onto a road crew where I did various manual labor tasks and really kind of understood what it was to be building the infrastructure of the state. And then was fortunate enough to be moved into the office where I had some various roles in business operations. So really learned the business side of the construction industry.
Well, certainly a great background to when it comes to selling equipment and understanding your customer. Let's talk a little bit about public policy and why do you choose to engage through AED in public policy efforts? Some folks would say, you know what, McGuire, we got the infrastructure deal. We don't need to worry about anything for the next 5 years. And what would you say to that?
So for me, it's actually fortunate for my upbringing. I was around public policy from an early age. My grandfather was in the New York State Assembly for 26 years. So I had a lot of exposure growing up, and I saw how instrumental it was in kind of determining what happens on a day-to-day, a year-to-year basis for not only the state, but for at the federal level. Without participating, we can't have the necessary impact that we need to help not only our industry and our businesses, but our employees, our customers, and the families of our employees. Participating is much more than just sending an email, although that certainly helps, but being active, present, visible, it's all very important because it shows that these certain issues, the hot topics, really do matter to us, in that we're not there just to be another loudmouth, so to speak, but that we actually care and there's reasons for us to doing what we do. Without that participation, going back to last year's Advocacy Day, who knows what happens with the infrastructure and that bill. Obviously we're not going to sit here and say that we were the ones that pushed it over the finish line, but I think that our voices and our presence certainly help in those situations. Now that that's in place, that doesn't mean that we can sit back and put our feet up on the desk, have a cup of coffee, and all will be well. We need to continue to focus on the next issue, because there's always another issue that our industry, that our families, that our nation faces. It's imperative that we be a loud voice for all of those. And participating in Advocacy Day is a perfect example of and opportunity for us to do that.
So I'm glad you brought up Advocacy Day, Zack. I mean, last year you and I met with Chairman Jeffries, and I remember the chairman saying, hey, we're going to get this infrastructure bill done one way or another. And a week later, it passed the House. So let's dive into Advocacy Day. If you were explaining to another dealer the benefits of coming to Advocacy Day versus staying home, why would you tell your colleagues in the association that they should take the time out of their busy schedule? Everyone's busy right now, but why is it important for them to come to DC?
Sure. So first and foremost, I think that being able to have that connection with our elected officials is very important. Advocacy Day provides a great platform for that to occur. So Brian, you and the team at AED do a phenomenal job setting up the different conversations and meetings that are able to be had at Advocacy Day. And that's something that, us in our states may have a challenge with in our busy week-to-week lives, being able to make those connections, build those relationships, have those conversations. So being able to go down for a day and a half, 2 days to DC, knowing that we're going to be able to have those sit-down conversations, and in many instances they're one-on-one, two-on-two. There's a very small audience in the room, so you really have a lot of great time that you're able to spend with these elected officials. That's, first and foremost, I thought that was a lot of great progress that was made for my first advocacy day. Second, I think that what you're able to get out of it in terms of us as an AED member, it's much more than just having those conversations with the elected officials. It's the networking. It's the, information we're able to obtain from the various speakers that come in. It's the understanding we're able to have of what's going on in DC, because obviously what you hear and what you actually see while you're there may be a little bit different. So it really gives you a good concrete understanding, so that we can act upon that. And I think that overall, having very important conversations about the issues we are facing at those meetings in that 2-day period is critical. If we don't do that and we don't have our voices heard, what impact can we really have? And how can we really make sure that our future, not only for our businesses, not only for our team members, not only for our customers, but our nation, how we're able to really impact and make sure that our future is well established.
Thanks for sharing that insight, Zach. I think that you sum it up very well. Let's shift gears here. As we talk with many dealers across the country, there's always some challenges that everybody's dealing with. What are some of the challenges that contractor sales is seeing as we come into the heavy construction season?
Sure. And as prosperous as these times have been for many, it certainly has not come without its set of challenges. It's funny, we're fortunate to have a very, very great team here at Contractor Sales with a lot of tenure in the industry. And day after day, no matter how far along we get with the situations that we're dealing with, we always hear, wow, I've never seen this in my 40 years. I've never seen this in my 30 years, whatever the number of tenure may be. And it's all of these issues that if you sit back and 5 years ago, we were like, geez, well, I guess, our excavator supplier has plenty of equipment on the ground. So if we need something, we'll buy it. Today, we're looking at buying equipment that's a year and a half out. And it really, it forces us to adapt as a dealer to how we serve our customers, and what their needs are to make sure their needs are met. And at the end of the day, that's our job. So, one of the main, there's kind of a top 3 or top 4 we're focusing on. This is obviously one of them. And it's not only equipment inventory, it's also the parts availability and inventory. And it doesn't matter who you represent, who you're partnered with on whatever piece of equipment it may be, everyone is facing the same challenges, for better or for worse. It is something that we all focus on dearly. And I think to kind of tie Advocacy Day back into this, it's an important point to drive home that this is why we need to make sure we're able to do things here in the United States to support ourselves, because of the issues we're facing now. And we're really seeing what impact that has on our businesses, on our customers, and on our customers' ability to improve and grow our infrastructure here. So, an equipment and parts availability issue is certainly one of the items that's a challenge day to day for us. Another is obviously the inflationary environment that we're all dealing with now, and how we kind of manage our cost structure, but also be fair to our team and make sure that we're making the investments necessary. It's something that obviously when costs are relatively low, you don't necessarily put as much thought into, because we're understanding that gas and diesel prices are low and we're going to go make the trip we need to make. But now we just have to have some of those additional thought processes before we make decisions. And something we never want to do is take away from our ability to invest in our team, to invest in our physical assets here at our business. So, really putting an emphasis on understanding how we go forward in the next number of months until we kind of see a settlement of the inflation, to make sure that we're on track for success. Third, and actually yourself and I, we spoke about this at Advocacy Day with a couple of elected officials, the labor force, specifically technicians, right? So how do we develop and continue to cultivate those individuals for these very great jobs and roles within our organizations for the future? It's not just a here and now issue, it's a future issue as well. And I think, AED and the foundation do a phenomenal job really driving the awareness of this and ensuring that we're able to set regional schools, whether it be at the high school or the college level up with accredited programs so that we have partners to work with in the community to develop these technicians. But it really is, it's a very rewarding role, and we're so fortunate. We have a great team here. But we just know that going forward, it's going to be something that we need to help the industry with to make sure that we're successful and ultimately we're able to support our customers, because that's what we do at the end of the day.
Zach, you mentioned, that there's a rewarding part of the business. Why don't you share with us, the rewards of being in this business and some of the things that you would tell a prospective future employee who might be coming from another industry, or, a high school student that's looking at career choices and considering coming into this industry?
Sure. So one thing I'm fortunate of, every day I wake up in the morning and on my way to the office, the team that we have, I always think through, it's just, we have so many great people we work with. And I think it's not necessarily unique to our industry, but it is, because a lot of the individuals that choose this as their career have a specific work ethic and passion for what we do. So for me, that's it's a very rewarding aspect. I'm a big proponent of team work and having a great team. So that's one that's extremely rewarding for me. Second is customer satisfaction and the relationships we develop. At the end of the day, I know I've said it a number of times here, but our customer satisfaction and their success is why we do what we do. And the relationships we then build with those customers are lifelong. And they're not only relationships, they become friendships. And some of our best friends are in the business and our customers. And that's just because what we do and how we do it. Another thing that's really important to us, and it's become even more important, I think, recently, is supporting our infrastructure, our state's infrastructure, our region's infrastructure, our nation's infrastructure. Without doing that and ensuring that our customers have the tools they need to improve and develop our infrastructure, we're going to continue to fall behind in the worldwide race to economic prosperity. So being able to know that we have a hand in developing and improving that infrastructure is very rewarding for us, our entire team. And lastly, fortunate for contractor sales, we're just been around about 100 years now. So the legacy for us, it's something it's very rewarding, and it just provides a great foundation for the future we're going to be able to create. And it's a motivating factor for all of us, and really it's nice to be able to have that as a part of our business.
Well, Zach, I appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us today, and we want to thank you for joining us on AED Insights. And we look forward to seeing you in DC for Advocacy Day. And again, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing all of you next time on AED Insights.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.